Hello my dear friends and welcome back. In the last video we managed to put the user object inside our response, and now we are going to see how we can uh, log in a user using the access token that is provided to us. So let's go ahead and see how we can log in our users. So we are going back to the routes, which is the API routes. We're going to create another route. So let's just copy the register route, and this one we're going to say login user like so, and let's just call it login user like that. So after that, let's go ahead to our auth controller and create another method that will be responsible for logging in our users. So we can go ahead and copy this one and now rename this one to login, and this one to to login like that, same as this one. And it's going to get the request object from the user and pass it to our login method that we'll be creating in just a moment. So let's go ahead and create a new function. We are going to create a new function here, and we are going to create to call it login user. So let's say public, and we call it login user, which is going to accept a parameter which will be in an object. So it will be, let's call it user credentials. So we can call it user credentials, which is the object coming from this request, and it's passed down to this method in our users model. So after creating the method, we need to validate, and for that we can just copy all of the registration. So I'm just going to copy everything from the registration method and paste it here, and we need to change some of the things. First of all, okay, instead of calling it credentials, let's just go ahead and call it user object like so. And our name not required since we only need to log in. Email required, and it's supposed to be email, so we don't check the uniqueness since we're now registering. We don't need the user type when we are making a login. Password required, and we don't need to confirm it. So on error, we will return all the error messages returned by the validator. So if there's no error, then we're going to go ahead and log in our user. So here we are going to say user email, username. We don't need the username for the login, and we need password. So, and user type still we don't need it. and we are not going to store the password again into our DB. So what we can do now is just do away with this one. We are not going to create new user. Instead, we are going to log in the new user. So instead of saying register, we say login, and again, like we provided last time, so password will be password, user email will be user email, secret of the client, and the ID of the client. And after that, now we don't need to save any of these users, so or any of the users information. So instead of checking if it's saving successfully, we are going to check if we are getting the client properties successfully, like so. And same, this one will just return the same as the one we did on the registration, and this one it's also the same as the one we did on registration, and this one it's exactly the same, so we don't need to do anything else here. So for that, let's go ahead and try to log in one of the registered users and see what will happen. So let's go back here, and now let's go ahead and create a new route. Enter a URL. So this one is login, and authorization now should be bearer token, and we're going to paste our token from the registration. So our token is here. We're going to copy all of it here, and we're going to paste it there. And headers, we are going to accept application JSON. So application JSON, because our backend is expecting JSON, we are going to go to our body, and we're going to form data, and we say email. Remember, last week we registered a user with the name of pro and email of pro at, let's check that out, pro@pro.com, pro@pro.com, like so. And password, we had 12345 as our password. So let's try to log in and see what happens. Get method is not supported, and we are supposed to send a post method. Expected end of file on line 27. So let's get to line 27. Line 27, I'm pretty sure it's not that file. Auth controller on line 27. So auth controller, auth controller on line 27. We have an extra curly braces there. We don't need that. So let's go ahead and try again, and we have back our access token, and now a refresh token, and as well as the authenticated user. We have back our authenticated user, the refresh token, and the access token and the expiration of our access token. So that way we've managed to log in a user successfully, and now we can go ahead and see how we can issue a refresh token in case our user needs to stay longer on the application than this access token can take. So what happens, the user can issue the refresh token, and the token will be refreshed without the user being logged out of the system. So let's stop this video here for now. When we come back, we will see how we can generate a refresh token for the user. Thank you very much for being with me. I'll see you in the next video.